Welcome everyone back to another episode of Q&A with Sharon son George. I was my mother's caregiver after she was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Sadly, she passed on 1/1/2020, but we started Together for Sharon.com in her memory and to advocate for a cure for all those still battling Parkinson today and their families, because I believe, and I believe our guests too will agree, no one is ever alone in this fight for a cure. Today, I wanted to welcome Ian, somebody who I have come to know for a long time now. It's amazing how time flies, but someone who I admire. He's still out there. I really enjoy the exercising and all the beautiful videos that we share daily around the world. So I wanted to welcome you, Ian, to the show.
Thanks, George. Guess I'll tell a little bit about myself. I got diagnosed in the year 2012, May 25th. I was 56 at the time, turning 57 that year. So just on the borderline of still being young onset. And I was self-employed. My wife and I ran a small motel in a town called Outlook, Saskatchewan, Canada. And for 43 years, my wife does pottery. She's a production potter that she sells her stuff in over 200 stores across Canada. And I worked at a goalie school that I operated for 20 years called Mind and Net Goaltending. And that's where I basically picked up a lot of my attitudes and opinions on how I was going to compete against Parkinson's using what we taught at the goalie schools.
Well, I really appreciate your time and your journey. Of course, I know you a little bit better, and now I hope the audience does too. Some of the things that really motivate me, and I wanted everyone to know, is the exercise. Really, what got you to want to share that with the world? Because sometimes it's not always easy, and some aren't so aware. So I know you have a lot of education, but also, how did you learn so many important tips that really are, I think, critical for everyone around the world?
Well, again, it went back to my hockey background. Like we trained high performance athletes, and so we did on ice and off ice sessions with them. Not just doing the physical work, but the mental understandings, how to go through slumps, how to get out of slumps, how to positive self talk, that sort of stuff, and a lot of that stuff just sort of carried forward. How I got filming it is that I'm a terrible journaler. I don't keep journals well, and so I thought I'll try to do it for a month, just doing little videos, and then I got something that encapsulates how I'm moving, what I look like, and maybe take a little topic. One thing I noticed in the Parkinson's world is how negative most people are once they get their diagnosis. And I wasn't negative at all because I think it was basically because my younger sister passed away with ovarian cancer, and I was one of her caregivers. And so when I got diagnosed, there were two things that I was relieved about. Is one, that I didn't have cancer and I was still going to continue to live, and two was that I at least knew what I had now, so I could move forward and try and combat with that. As for the videos, I thought I'd just do it for about a month. I have a disagreement with how physiotherapists instruct us to work as exercise. And so I want to show that I could exercise in a 2 or 3 minute span that would handle my mental, physical, oral, and visual components, which is what Parkinson's goes and tries to attack. And I can do it in 2 or 3 minutes at a song, so that other people could follow. And after I did about a month of them, I was going to quit. My wife said, "Well, you can't quit. You're getting like 1,000 views a day." And I said, "Okay, well, I'll try and do it for a year," and it just sort of snowballed.
I appreciate them, and I think it's great, not just for people diagnosed, but also caregivers. I don't regret a lot in my life, but I do wish I had your videos back when my mother was struggling. She had it for 15 years, but we didn't have that opportunity for videos or even be aware, or the awareness that people like you are out there really fighting for a cure, but also for those battling today it's important to have things like these videos. So I wanted to, again, thank you for all you do.
Not a problem, George. It's something I kind of enjoy doing, and it really gets me. The odd time I do show how Parkinson's deals with me. Like I showed one where I'm dyskinetic really bad, and I'm swaying all over the place. And I showed one getting dressed. I showed one at the table, but most of them are just to show that you can still do things with the diagnosis. Like it's not the end of the world. You can still, with proper planning, do a lot of stuff.
I also want to note that we did not plan this beautiful dress together, so we were
Yeah.
not. So we are brothers in this fight for cure. So I love it. And just to go back, the hockey, it's ironic and odd. I was born in New York, Brooklyn. My father happened to be the New York Islanders team doctor, so I was sitting on the bench during many Stanley Cups with Mike Bossy, Nystrom, and some legends, but unfortunately I don't remember anything because I was too small. So I always really enjoy meeting some individuals who love hockey, and also we could probably have a whole discussion on slowing the progression through hockey because sports, as you well know even more than me, can slow the progression of Parkinson, but sadly there are some that still aren't aware of that. That's why I think your videos are so important, and we'll share them, of course, forever or as long as we are able to.
Yeah, and actually, the biggest thing that I found was the negative self-talk that most people have, and even our goalies. Like when we were chatting with them, like how they have a goal scored on them, and they'd be all upset, and so we had to get them back on task. And the average person can think of 300 to 1,000 words a minute in their head. That's 60,000 thoughts a day, and 65% of those thoughts can be normally negative, like I suck, I can't do this, why did I do that, I'm bored, and all that sort of attitude. And so we got to switch that negative attitude to a positive attitude. And how you do that is that you just write things down. What makes a good day? What makes you perform well? And start looking for the good instead of the bad. Because the bad is like a bully. It's really braggadocious. It goes, look at me. And the good, the little pinpricks just happen all over the time of the day. Like every second, every minute, there's a little one here, a little one there. And if you start recognizing them and start noticing them down, then you can turn that 65% negative thoughts to about 65% positive. Like you're never going to get 100%. But and then once we told our goalies that, we said, well, then try and find three things that make you perform well, and I broadened it out to what are three things that will make my day a good day. And so then repeat that to yourself every day. And we call them our power affirmations. And so my three power affirmations in order for me to have a good day is I have a good day when I laugh, I have a good day when I move, and I have a good day when I socialize. And if I've done those three things, I've had a good day. You know, I may have had still a lot of bad things happen, but those things still happen to me, and that made my day a good day.
Maybe we could add a fourth, and that's when I am with you and spending time with you. I also have a good day. So thank you for that. I love it. And I wanted to share everybody, please, again, support all that Ian's doing, and we'll share a lot of this so that you don't have to write it down. But in the show notes, I wanted to thank you. Of course, you might recognize this young man. And everyone, if you go to togetherforsharon.com, click on interviews, you can see a lot more in depth with Ian. This was all the way back in June 25th of 2023. So it's amazing how time does go by, and you can see a lot more in depth, but also about Ian's background, some of the goals that he has, and also the 4Ps, and also some ways to reach out. But I wanted also talk about your superpowers, and your website is parkinsonsmysuperpower.ca, and it's another incredible website telling your journey, which I always try to share as much as I can. So everybody, again, please go to parkinsonsmysuperpower.ca and support Ian and all that he's doing. And you can actually see a lot of the videos, which let's see if we
Month,
could.
and Parkinson's Canada has launched the biggest awareness campaign in the organization's history. Joining me this morning is Ian Robertson, who's living with Parkinson's disease. Good morning.
Good morning.
So can you fill us in?
So I just wanted to at least show everyone that you can access a lot of the videos, and I see my friend Michael is here, and you've also teamed up together, which I love. I like when everyone is able to share this and team up together. I also found another beautiful article at Parkinson's Canada, so we send thank you to them about how you just mentioned being positive. And finally, Facebook, which I follow and like 24/7, as you know, and we share a lot of the videos. But if everyone can go to Ian Robertson and you can follow, we got to get this up to 1 million follows and likes.
Yeah, one thing I do too, like a lot of the pictures there are pictures taken on our trips. And every time I go somewhere with my wife, I always try and search out a local Parkinson's support group. And if they have one, I'll go and sit in on it or maybe talk at it. And so I've given talks or sat in groups. So I went to Iceland. I sat in with 2 groups in Iceland. I went to across Canada. I've been into 5 different provinces and sat in with different support groups there. So it's always nice to go and meet other people with Parkinson's in different parts of the world or the country and find out how they're dealing with it as well.
Yeah, I was fascinated but saddened to see how Parkinson's affects so many around the world. And I think there's not enough attention on places like Iceland. And I had interviewed someone from Iceland, Norway, Australia, Canada, all around the world. Unfortunately, we're battling this. But like I said, I believe together our voices are so much stronger. So hearing that, so beautiful. Someday I'll have to zoom in and meet you in Iceland, but I'll be here in sunny Florida. I hope you're not going to freeze too much, but I saw some of
I'm
your,
from northern Canada. Today it's -22 out. So
I saw some of your pictures of the snowman. I'm like, oh no, I hope you aren't one of them. So, but it's again, I really hope everyone will join you on Facebook too and support you. You have a lot of the same friends because again, we're all family in this fight for a cure. So again,
sorry, I find the Indian awareness part that we ourselves are most the problem more so than anything else is that most people with Parkinson's don't want to be seen with it, and they don't like to talk about it, and it's kind of hard to make the outside world aware of it if you're not comfortable with it yourself. And like I have a wonderful support team, and we still go out golfing, we still go out curling, we still live an active lifestyle. It's unfortunately it's a lifestyle that's full of trial and error, but it's still I feel it's important for us to not just have our parking world, but it's our outside world as well.
I agree. And how long before you had the diagnosis until you discovered exercise, moving, and the positivity? Was it a year or several years?
I was always active, and in all honesty, I didn't take any medication for the first 4 years because of that activity. Like I was still producing dopamine in other parts of my brain. It's sort of like a little puff here, a little puff there. It wasn't all in the basal ganglia. So I was able to get by for 4 years. And then I started medication. But when COVID hit, that stopped everything. And I've really had to adjust my medication quite a bit. But I have a really good relationship with my MDS doctor because I don't take it at a regimented time. I find with my medication that it depends who I'm doing an activity with, what activity I'm doing, when I'm doing the activity, how my medication interacts with that then. And so I play around with my medication quite a bit, and I understand how I come on and off, and I try to get the plateau as opposed to like there's still some peaks and valleys, but I don't take my medication on a rigid schedule.
Mhm. And how do you think it's affected you, Parkinson's overall? Has it really stopped you from doing things that you love, or due to?
No, not at all. Uh, I'm still doing a lot of things that I like to do. I just can't do it as long,
Mhm.
and I can't do it as well, but I'm still doing it. You know, like when I go out on the golf course, we only play 9 holes when I go out, but I know every now and then I'm gonna fall down. But I've done a nice cushy green surface, so it doesn't really hurt me.
I appreciate again that you talk about this, because I think it inspires so many. Unfortunately, my mother had Parkinson's for 15 years, but also went through a lot of what you were saying. Unfortunately, also, she didn't break through to the positive because she didn't know there were anyone else with Parkinson's. And I think that what you do and your advocacy and reaching out to so many not only inspires other people, but I can see it also inspires you, which is a beautiful thing. And I'm honored that I'm able to be a part of your life and help share all the incredible things that you do.
Well, and I must apologize to anybody that's going to go on and watch my videos. What I do is not really singing,
That's okay. That's just fun. It make me
but I have the TV on, so I try to be louder than the TV, so it gets me my voice exercise when I'm out there.
well, there you show us you can have multiple techniques at once, supporting those with Parkinson's. And the main thing I think we've learned so far is to keep moving. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, we have a movement disorder
Yeah.
disease, so I'm always moving.
Yeah. Well, I think seeing you smile though, I always joke with everyone, say we need a t-shirt with your face just smiling, because I think that inspired the world. So thanks for that also. I wanted to now shift a little bit to a few fun questions. I always say the whole show is fun, but here we go. Can you list 3 words that describe who you are?
Who I am? Probably, I think most people enjoy being around me. I like to socialize, and who I am, I guess I have perseverance. Uh, Both business wise, now that might have helped me in my Parkinson's too, because being self-employed for 43 years, we had some good times, bad times, bad times, bad times, good times. So we persevered through that, and so we're doing the same thing with my Parkinson's. We're persevering through it.
Yeah, sometimes the harder times build you up for more stronger times. So, and the positive. Is there one moment or most memorable moment that stands out through most of your work in awareness so far that you can share?
I think the biggest moment that has made the biggest impact on me was how I got my name Parkinson's my superpower.
Mhm.
And I had just been diagnosed. I was waiting at a Lowe's renovation depot, and I was in the lineup, and I started to tremor. And so I was sitting down on a box waiting to get served. And this little kid who was about 4 or 5 came up to me and he says, "Why are you shaking?" And I went, "Well, because I have Parkinson's." And he looked at me very intently and went, "Is that like having a superpower?"
Mhm.
And I went, yeah, it is. And so that's how I got my name there. And that's the biggest impact probably that I had with Parkinson's so far. And that was like my first 5, 6 months.
Uh, I love that story, and that's one thing we don't, or I don't think a lot about. It's the children in the future. So we do have to advocate, teach them, and also explain to them, that it's not something to fear. It's something that can be lived with and brought
Well,
positive.
that worked out really good in my hockey too, because like I did all age groups,
Yeah.
kids from 4 to 24. And when you had the little kids up there, they all noticed you shaking. And they'd come out and go, "Why are you shaking?" You go, "Because I have Parkinson's." Okay. And they're out of there. Like, they don't, everybody's worried about telling them what you got, but they just sort of take it and, okay, thanks, and move on.
Yeah. And this is an important part of the show. Obviously, you're the spokesperson and advocate, but we like to take a moment to thank the people behind the scenes. So I want to know if you could share who helps you during times of struggle. And because I was a caregiver and I know how important it is to also thank those who support you.
Well, first off is my wife. She doesn't think she plays as big a role as she does, but it's amazing to watch somebody who is caregiving for you. Like, they're actually going through more than what I'm going through because they have their life's pains too. So it's really hard to be a caregiver. And I got a good friend of mine. We curled together for 14 years. And he's driven me places. He's helped me out when I go and speak. Like, he's just an all-around nice guy. He's helps me out all the time. And I find that the more, because I'm out and fairly open about it, I haven't had a bad experience with my Parkinson's in the general public at all. If I had to ask for help, people were more than willing to give it.
Well, I want to send our love and support to all those, again, your wife and friends who help support you, because I know that they give you kind of the strength to do what you do, and we need that in the world, so thank you. Is there something you might advise someone who likely is listening right now, might have just been diagnosed with Parkinson's?
Yes, don't give, just because you hear that Parkinson's may do this or Parkinson's may do that, don't quit whatever you're doing. Make Parkinson's prove it first. You know, like, there's first meeting I went to for a sport group, there's a guy out there and he says, I quit curling because I feared I was going to fall. And yet he hadn't fallen. Parkinson's hadn't taken that part away from him yet, but he gave it up freely because he feared it. Don't fear it. Like, make it, prove it to you that it's going to, that it's doing it to you, not that it's going to do to you. If that makes sense.
It does. Thank you. And if you had one wish granted, what would it be?
I really don't know.
These are the tough, hard-hitting news questions we go for.
Like I wouldn't say I want to be cured. Like I don't mind my life now. And if I wished for me to be cured, that would be kind of selfish. I would wish that everybody wanted to be cured. So I really don't. My life is pretty good.
I love that. And there's a fun one. If you were asked to write a script to a movie about your life story, what would you call it, and what actor would play your role?
This is so funny. We did a Christmas letter once, and it was all about movie titles. And so my titles were Ian. The stories about Ian was Children of a Lesser God. My movie would probably be The Couch Potato Workout.
And what actor would play your role?
George Wendt, Norm from Cheers.
I know, that's good. And if you had an opportunity to speak to yourself 10 years ago, a younger Ian, what would you say to him?
Buckle up, it's going to be a hell of a ride.
That might be a good title for the show, to the movie. And what would the theme song of your life story be?
I would say, I normally listen to 3 songs every morning.
Mhm.
And it would be one of those 3 songs, probably a B.B. King song called We're Gonna Make It.
Nice. I love BB. And I have a new question I always like to ask. Do you have a question, like a burning question about the whole world of Parkinson's awareness that you just can't answer, and we won't today, but anything kind of that you're always kind of curious, a question that you'd like the world to know that you want answered?
You got me in that one.
Well, the good thing about this show is we don't stop after this show ends. When the lights, camera, and paparazzi leave, this conversation has to continue. So I do hope everyone will share this and support you, Ian. Who is your hero?
My hero? This is gonna sound hokey, but it is my dad. You know, my dad taught me a lot of stuff that I still live with to this day, and I still do a lot of his stupid comments. But he taught me the 3 A's. You're going to be judged in the 3 A's in your life: appearance, attitude, and association. And he's passed it down to me, and we've passed it down to our kids. And it's a pretty simple life to live if you just follow the 3 A's.
Thanks. And then the last question, just for today, because like I said, I hope this is to be continued, because until there's a cure, everybody's doorsteps around the world, we can't stop battling, advocating, and fighting for a cure for everybody. But if you could leave the Parkinson's community today with some words of encouragement, although you already have so many, but what would those words be?
And I guess the words that I always end each of my videos with, have fun, be a warrior.
I like that. And we need a T-shirt sent from the in that one, because I think that's something everybody really should live by. And I just wanted to thank you again for your time, friendship, and I do hope that everyone out there listening will follow Ian at Facebook on Ian Robertson. I'll share all the links. Keep watching his videos, because I think they'll motivate you, and you can share them too with the world. There's likely someone out there, unfortunately, and I haven't met or reached, that really are in need. And I think that these videos can change their life forever. But it's up to everyone listening to share them. And we don't want anything in return, but everyone out there not to struggle, and to know that exercise and all of the singing and the beautiful positive messages Ian provides can really change everyone's life for the better. So Ian, I just had one note to tell you and a message, and to everyone listening. We love you, we support you, we care a lot about you, and you're never alone. I, along with Ian, will advocate for you, and together I feel our voices are so much stronger. And I always close the show with, I'm just getting started, because obviously been doing this for 5 years, and Ian's been doing it also for a long time. But every time I might have a day of struggle of my own, or something not right, I do look to sometimes Facebook or Ian and see his, his battle, but how he's really a warrior and coming on top. And the positivity is something I think we all need in our lives, no matter what our struggles are. And I'm so grateful again, Ian, to know you, to call you friend, and to have had you on today, but also to continue to fight side by side and advocate for a cure, but also for exercise and all that you do as we still battle this disease 24/7.
Thanks, George, and ditto. Thanks a lot for you.
I appreciate it. And I thank all of you, our beautiful listeners, the Parkinson's community, and hopefully everyone out of the Parkinson's community that might not be aware of Parkinson's, or are caregivers for someone with Parkinson's, because we really need everybody in this kind of ship to sail together to come closer to a cure around the world for everybody listening. So thanks again, Ian. Please support Ian at Facebook, and also see much more in-depth interview on Together for Sharon. But please stay tuned. We have so much more to come, and this fight's not over. And until it is, Ian and I will be standing again side by side in this advocacy effort. So thanks, everyone. This has been another episode of Q&A with Sharon and George. Please stay tuned. But for now, we love you, and thanks for listening. Please share this, and thanks again.